Here we go. And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. Vlogcast comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. This Vlogcast started as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect because when I open up my window in the office to keep things cool, when it gets down to 65-ish freedom heat units over here, in the summer, for some stupid reason, there are all these little black flies that fit through the screen in my window. I really wish I understood how to prevent that from happening without electrifying it. Oh yeah, and part of this is to follow through with the old adage that sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. I'm your main host. I'm known as Shujin Tribble. You can pretty much find me everywhere under that name. That's Shujin. Hi. At the moment, it's just myself and from the Midwest of the U.S., Bridget Fitch. Hi.
Howdy. Howdy.
Yeah, I could hear you this time. It's all good. So, yeah, it's the weird time of the season, summer-wise, where the temperatures will swing wildly from, damn near 30 to, like, 15 Celsius numbers, by the way. So, it's kind of weird the way that this all works. And it drives me up a wall. Because I've got good insulation in the house. But, when it gets chilly outside, it's nice to just kind of open the window a little bit. But like I said, I get these black flies that end up because they're attracted to the light. And they found their way in. It's annoying as all hell. There is only one good side to that, though. Because they are attracted to the light, they gather in a section on the ceiling, the brightest spot. And I keep myself a good bottle of canned spray insecticide in the office for just such an eventuality. I mean, because.
Fly paper works too.
Well, now, see, that'd be fine if, I had some.
Oh.
I mean, I could just find, a packing tape and just unravel it and, stick it to the ceiling and hope to hell that works. But
It doesn't work that way.
yeah, probably doesn't. Is what it is. So, yeah, it's gonna be one of those evenings. So, hi everybody, thanks for joining us, and of course, as always, if you'd like to join us as we're recording live, you can be over in the live chat because Stephanie made it. Good morning, good to see you over there. I'll explain in a minute because I got something running through my head. And Felis, glad you're able to make it. So yeah, hi. I just, there's so much. There's just so much that's been going on. We were talking before we got started tonight about the possibilities of various things happening in the world politic here in the U.S. And there are some really it's interesting to see how things work with how the news reporting cycle operates at this point, where there is a marked difference between reporting craptacular information on the president when they're being asshats versus when they're just being themselves for the most part. And I know it's kind of a distinction without a separation, but I would much rather have grandpa than my very angry uncle, I guess is probably the nicest way of putting it. Which is not to mean that we don't want to have grandpa be a little bit more crotchety these days,
Yeah, I just hated that. Oh, gas prices are so high. Biden sucks. And then, oh, prices are dropping too quickly. Biden sucks. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, no idea as to what's going on. And as an aside, look at this. Fashionably late.
Bonjour.
Good morning, Joseph. How are you?
Morning. How are you guys?
Wow. Um, I'm guessing you just woke up because, oh my God, that voice.
Oh, what?
No, you've just got
Oh, yeah.
you just got a
I
lot
didn't
of
wake.
bass.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I've been pretty busy over the past week,
That's fair.
but heading back to Paris tomorrow.
Fair enough.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm doing okay.
Mm.
The only other fun and interesting I can let you know about on my side is that I have to get up early tomorrow because we're going
Ooh,
to a Renfest.
Ooh, fun.
what's that? Sorry.
A Renaissance festival.
Renaissance, as in French Renaissance,
Uh,
or
as in, you get to ask to take pictures of women's cleavage because it's on full display and they don't bat an eye at it. As in, swords
Dressed
and,
up in,
yeah,
yeah, period wear and, yeah.
swords and hair braiding and,
so it's kind of cosplay.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
It's an entertainment fun.
Okay,
Yeah,
but is it?
and you
It
have some bards that sing bawdy songs and,
party songs?
Bawdy.
Okay, body. Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 16th century
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
bar. Yeah. Oh,
I
okay.
now see what I was saying about taking photos is only half right. Some years ago, one of the previous years that we'd gone, I had my big digital SLR with me because it's what I wanted to use, and the cameras on phones at the time were kind of lackluster at best. And there was there was a lady who had this great leather corset. It was 3 panels across the front with this great Celtic knotwork and everything all on it. And
Ooh.
I saw her and I asked, "Oh, may I get a? Do you mind if I get a picture of your outfit?" And she's like, "Oh, sure, not a problem." And she like scrunched in her shoulders a little bit and leaned forward, intentionally giving me like all of the cleavage. And I paused for a second. I'm just like, actually, I meant the corset. I love the leather work that's done on it. And she was almost disappointed. So it
Oh,
was,
I can't
Did you?
remember. Oh gosh, what was the name of the group? I can't remember the name of them. And it'll come to me like after the show's over. But they came out to Apostacon one year
mm,
and sang. And one of the girls, I mean, she had a beautiful voice and she played guitar. But she had like triple D tatas. I mean, they were huge. And then she told me a couple of years ago that she ended up having to get a breast reduction because it was just too painful on her back. But man, she had some prodigious tatas.
yeah,
Voice.
most guys don't really realize just how expensive it is when you are that large. Because trying to find a properly fitting supportive piece of clothing at that point, you almost have to go into custom design areas.
Yeah, but this group, they did, Ren fairs and things like that. And so they were dressed up in their clothing. And needless to say, the people at the hotel got a little upset because they got into some pretty tawdry stuff. But
Because
it
of
was
course they
fun.
did.
I mean, what else are you going to do at 2 and 3 a.m. when you're at a con?
Really wasted.
So we were out in the lobby doing sing-alongs, and it was great.
No, I'm not going to answer the question.
I'll see if I can find pictures later.
It's fair enough.
What can go wrong?
Oh, yeah, you know, collectively, as people who try to enjoy science, reason, skepticism, and shun the supernatural that we are, Joseph, you know full well saying that line is just the incantation to bring forth the great god Murphy. You know that.
But one of the songs that they
Yeah.
did was I Love Dick, and they were singing a song about Dick, and the catch line was at the end of it, I love Dick Cheney.
Well,
But
here
some
in
people,
France, one of
some people got
France's most
offended, though.
one of France's most famous singers during the probably until the 1990s was a guy called Dick Rivers.
Cry me a river. Nah, it's probably a bad idea for me to do that. You know what? That's
Funny to
And
hear the
when
girls harmonize singing about how much they loved Dick and they were all about Dick and just wanted Dick.
you know.
invite, we're going to invite Dick for dinner.
No, they were like, we want Dick
Okay.
all the time and we love Dick. And the end of it was Cheney.
You know. You could say it backwards, which would be Dosha Sally Exviustic Fragicalarupus, but that would be taking it just a little bit too far, don't you think?
Yeah.
If you get it, you get it, and I really hope that you did on that.
Oh, by the way,
Yes,
what's the topic for today's show?
I am so gonna fucking hurt you. It's been how many? It's been you've been so good to me for so long. There's gonna be plenty of time for you to take a look and read up. Oh God.
Yeah, but I can't do that,
Well, you know what?
With the group.
especially after I'm talking with you all.
It was clearly guilty.
Don't do that.
Well,
I need that.
shoes and shows. One of the few things I don't prepare for.
And you know what? That's that's perfectly acceptable. And B, I just like giving you shit about it. Don't worry about it, man. Besides, I still need to do my opening. We still got the horrible scopes, and then
Oh,
we'll be
It's
able to
not
play.
like we're scripted.
Yeah, that's true.
can you put the link up for the horrible scopes because I can't open 2 pages at once on my phone.
I'm sure that somebody can do that for you. Otherwise, let me go ahead and get things started over here for you. So, with 5 minutes on the clock while he's reading, your 5-minute freestyle starts right now. Cafeteria. There's a joke. There's a very old joke. One of the first jokes that I learned. What is a cafeteria? The front side to a bacteria. It's an old joke. I learned that joke from a book that I bought back when I was a kid in school. Back in the day when you could still get, the books from the book drive. I asked for money to be able to buy it, and I got a book full of jokes. I probably screwed up the joke because it's been a very, very, very long time since I had that book. But I remember the book drives. Oh, it was great. When you're a kid and able to bring in money to be able to do that, it was great. Being a kid in grade school is it's a great thing. There's so little that you really have to worry about. You bring a couple of pencils, maybe an extra eraser, depending as to how you are. You don't even need a pencil sharpener, some paper, a couple of things. Got to remember to bring yourself. And there's so much that's there and available for you, including in some cases food. So for those of you that for whatever reason did not read the news article that was posted in the notice, there are some states in my country that are pushing back against the current administration so that they don't have to be forced to provide food for kids on the LGBTQIA plus spectrum. Yeah. They're viewing the fact that they are not allowed to discriminate as a form of discrimination itself. They want it to be set by the states because, states' rights and all that stuff. And I'm really glad that Dallin isn't right here right now for that one because, oh my God, I really don't want to hear him yuking in my ear. As an aside, when you're a kid, especially a grade school kid, you don't really think about these things. You don't want people to be treating you badly. I mean, whoever does. But when you're a grade school kid, it's all about, having yourself a good time, learning to enjoy being with other kids, socializing, learning things, hopefully with a good teacher to help you through it all. The idea that there are some kids right now that are being used as pawns by these theocratic overlords positively blows my mind. I mean, there are levels of abject cruelty that, as far as we are concerned, societally, things are just off limits. Kids, the most innocent of us all, the ones who need our love and our support and our protection most, are being used as we don't want to have to be forced to like these kids because it's our right to be able to discriminate against. Oh, that's right. We can't say discriminate. That's the wrong word for it. What's the word that we should use? It's our choice how to use our money and our funds. So you shouldn't be telling us what to do or not to do with our money. I think that's the closest that they've got for a valid argument. And even then. So I don't know what to do with these. I don't know what to do with these people. There are attorneys general from, I forget how many states it is, but it is a non-zero number, who want to be able to discriminate against these kids for no other reason other than they have one of these letters or combinations of these letters that they fall into. Literally for no other reason. Kids should just be allowed to be kids, to just sit down, have a good meal, and if they really want to stick a damned straw into a block of cherry Jello, they should be allowed to just do that because they're kids. Leave them alone. Episode 415 on the docket, Your Honor. I actually had to look this one up because I knew in my head when it started rolling that I knew that I was remembering a song, but it was, again, another one of these things that I had forgotten about it. Big Bad John. This week, Jon Stewart was on a lot of places for news because he went up there onto Capitol Hill trying to get the money for veterans who have been impacted, their health damaged by, very specifically, burn pits. And, well, they basically screwed him over. They screwed over the vets. And he's been making the rounds. These are groups who have been trying very hard on their own to get their money, to get their support. And it's not the only group that he's done it for. He's also done it for the 9/11 first responders out of New York City. But they already have their own voices. They have their groups. But the fact that sometimes even a group like that of veterans, first responders, whatever, groups that have been not treated correctly, even as well organized as they might be, sometimes just having that one extra voice, loud, very well known voice, but just one more voice, can make all the difference in the world. And I think we're going to kind of talk through a little bit of that, and we'll see where it takes us. So while we got that going, how about we see about the horrible scopes? Oh, you found those pictures. Holy shit, you were right. She's got tracts of land, don't she? Yes. Oh, and did you get the link for the horrible scopes?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it open in front of me. Thank you.
Okay, good. In that case, let's go ahead and do this. It's time for your horrible scopes for this week. Remember, if you know what your astrological sign is, I don't care. If you don't, I still don't care. Make it up as you go along. I don't care. Just pick one, whatever sounds good for you. Don't really much care. Aries, when you see a telescope, check what direction it's pointed in and what's there. Generally speaking, it's safe to look through it at night. But if it's pointed at the sun during the day, there's a really good chance it'll melt the final focusing lenses. If it can do that, imagine what it would do to your eyeball. Do not look into that telescope with remaining good eye.
It'd be a really bad idea.
Yeah, it is.
Taurus, think back to 1994 and The Lion King. Remember Scar, voiced by Jeremy Irons? He only sang most of the song. From the line, "So prepare for the coup of the century," it was Jim Cummings singing. You know, the voice of Ed the Hyena, Winnie the Pooh, and Darkwing Duck. Yeah, just try to imagine DW singing that. Now that you've got that in your head, go find Jeremy singing The Hole in the Elephant's Bottom on YouTube. You will not be disappointed.
It is funny as hell.
Gemini, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. What you do today sets into motion how tomorrow will play out. Yes, life is a video game in hardcore Iron Man mode. Like Minecraft, you can dig for precious materials. Like Left 4 Dead, there's always friendly fire, and like StarCraft, you're always looking to eliminate the bugs. This week, buy the largest capacity micro SD card that your phone can take and put all your music on it. You need a theme song and ambient music to get through things.
Yeah, it's true. The reason for that whole thing about friendly fire in Left 4 Dead, when Dallin and I played with Wishy Bunny, a long time back now, man, we had a small problem of always hitting each other, and that was a problem when you're trying to survive the zombie hordes.
Mm-hmm.
Found that out the hard way. Cancer Moonchild, the month-long trip to Europe you've been planning should be postponed. Take a wing over to EFFIS, the European Forest Fire Information System, and see what's going on. You'd think Greenland and Iceland wouldn't have wildfires, but guess what? They do too. You got a better chance of surviving Action Park in New Jersey than heading into the European mainlands for vacation. Stay home. Oh, yeah, as an aside, by the way, this line that you're going to have to go through, by the way, Bridget, is it's written to be done in one breath. I don't think that you'll be able to do it without practice, but just keep that in mind.
These days, there are lots of choices at the store for tea. We have blueberry, raspberry, ginseng, sleepy time green tea with lemon, green tea with lemon and honey, liver disaster, ginger with honey, ginger without honey, vanilla almond, white truffle, blueberry, chamomile, vanilla walnut, constant comment, and Earl Grey. And, orange pekoe if you want to be bland about it all. Or just have, coffee.
Carve me off a slice of coffee, man.
Yeah, I like my coffee strong. Cut me a slice. Virgo, we know how much you love conspiracy theories and math riddles, so your horoscope is encoded into this entire collection for you to discover on your own. Obviously, you're going to need some hints to get you started, so here you go. We suggest you find an Enigma breaker program, a Fibonacci number generator, an ROT13 decoder, and the Bloodhound Gang episode, The Case of the Missing Bloodhound from 1980. Remember, ELJB, PTBBQ, ELJB. Good luck.
There's some people that actually remember the Bloodhound Gang, and you people are old as shit. I know the okay. I know the Bloodhound Gang too. So okay, you know what? It's fine. Libra, you're sorry.
If the Bloodhound's missing, how can they be the Bloodhound Gang?
Well, there's more than just two people in the Bloodhounds.
Oh, okay.
Libra, you're like a jet engine. Your best work comes when you're under super high pressure and fed fuel. In your case, fuel is coffee or a shiny new coffee. If you want people to take you seriously in the break room, ask them to carve you off a slice of coffee. If it isn't in the form and consistency of canned cranberry sauce, why even bother?
Ew, that was like my grandma's coffee. You could stand up a spoon in it. Ew. Scorpio, you love Weird Al Yankovic. What's not to love about him? Some of his music is specifically food related, some isn't, but we need to know, where do you classify his song Spam from his movie UHF? Spam is only barely food, can be used as rocket propellant, and most dogs won't even eat it. How bad for you does it have to be where for most dogs to avoid it? So, where do you classify spam, huh? Where?
That rocket propellant thing, that thing.
All of the above. Sagittarius. They call them moving sidewalks in airports, but you know what they really are. MC Escher inspired stairs to nowhere. Don't let your sneakers get eaten by escalators, and don't drop your keys into the gap of an elevator. You don't need that level of stress again.
I've never understood the idea of the moving sidewalks. People that just want to stand on them and get moved, that's just freaking lazy.
You try the correspondence at Brussels, and you will not live without a moving sidewalk. You got like a 5-kilometer walk, if not.
Okay.
The one in Detroit is really cool.
Guys, been a long.
Goes through the whole tunnel of lights thing. And like the faster people move, the more and faster the music goes and the lights go. It's really cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
You've never seen it?
Not that I can think of.
I will have to find you some YouTube videos. It's awesome. It's like my favorite airport.
But at the same time,
I'd like a 2000 and I'd like a moving sidewalk tunnel that looks like that scene from 2001.
Oh God. Capricorn.
That would make your trip interesting.
Capricorn, you have 2 great commercial ideas, but only one will work. Building a sandblasting shop near the ocean and using the beach sand as an unlimited supply of abrasive material is a death trap waiting to happen. Inhaling microscopic silicate particles will do all kinds of bad to you. Instead, how about selling 55-gallon drums of ocean water for saltwater aquarium owners? It's all natural, 100% renewable, and seriously, how simple is that? I've actually legitimately thought, is that a viable commercial thing? Because I would love to be able. I live a little bit too far inland to do that, but oh my God, I would love to be able to do that.
Yeah, but plastics.
Well, yes, but I mean, you do it, you set up a shop right on, a raised building right on the water, and you just do it right there, just off the shore. You just, you get a winch. You know, you dunk it down, you fill it up, you pull it out, you cap it off, you ship it. I mean, how hard is that?
That might be an idea. Hmm.
Water's heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy.
Yeah, but
Yeah, shit.
Eh, I don't know. It costs a lot to ship it, but I guess if you have enough money, it doesn't matter.
if they
Of course,
can ship 55-gallon drums of Astroglide, you can ship a 55-gallon drum of water.
yeah, that's true. Aquarius. Stealing musical lines is a tradition that goes back hundreds of years, but here's one you likely missed. The song Do Re Mi from The Sound of Music opens with, "Let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start." When you read, you begin with ABC. When you sing, you begin with Do Re Mi. In the show Between the Lions, the song, Sven said, 10 tenths, 10 cent, 10 cents.
That is a real thing. That is a real thing.
The lyrics start with, "Let's start with our favorite vowel, a pretty good place to start. It's an E like we see in Ben and hen, and it goes like in the middle of 10, so all right then, let's go men." So, see? Even public broadcast TV productions will steal music when they can get away with it.
For those of you that are wondering what the hell that's all about, seriously, on YouTube, Between the Lions, Sven said 10 tenths. It's worth it. It's 2 minutes. It's worth it.
Is that something like Between the Ferns?
Nope, Between the Lines. It was a kids show.
Oh,
It used to be really good for the first season, and then they cut back on production like crazy, and it just
Pisces. There are two types of people. When we say the man in black, do you think the fire swamp or the ring of fire? Okay, maybe there's a third group that doesn't get either reference, but you not only get the reference, but you can hear both answers in your head at the same time. If you got your corpus callosum clipped, you only have to hear one of those at a time. How do you not know what the corpus callosum is? Oh, jeez. It's not rocket science. Go read your old pre-med books from college again.
there is a.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
I was bringing the phone too close to my eyes. So
It's okay. There is a it's not rocket science joke in there, so you all have yourself a good time with that. Those are your horrible scopes for this week. Remember, if you like what you got, you're a freak. But if you'd like a nicer or nastier one for yourself or someone else, I can be bribed, which usually involves just sending a message and saying, "Hey, could you do this?" It is what it is. And I did get a message from my mom Friday when I was working on these, because I posted last week's that had an actual "Hi Mom" in there, and she's like, "I love it. It's okay. I like it when that happens." So let's have a little bit of talk on this one. Joseph, I'm assuming that you probably didn't hear what had been going on over here as far as with Jon Stewart and the veterans getting these funds allocated and then not allocated to their health funds and everything.
allocated by who?
By Congress over here.
Okay.
Yeah, the
What do you mean allocated? Then allocated by the House and then unallocated by the Senate, or how did that go?
Well, it ended up being this kind of a weird thing where it was passed at a, let me see if I remember right. It was something like 80, I think it was like 84-16 or something like that, where, the percentage as far as to who was going to vote yes for it was ready to go. It had to go back for a minor rewrite for a procedural thing. And then it had to go back so that it could be voted on again because, you make a change of any kind, it's got to go back, even if it was procedural. And then Republicans just basically said, no, we're not going to do that. And they screwed over the vets who need, the funding that this is supposed to go through because it was kind of promised to them. The Republicans basically threw a hissy fit because the Democrats were getting something done, and they just were doing a spite kind of thing. Yeah, they reneged. It's the best way to put it.
And what was the rationalization for finally not voting for it?
There were a couple. One of them most fun was the claim that it would make a slush fund of money. That it was going to be just this $800 billion of unregulated spending. And Jon Stewart, famously of stand-up comedy and late-night talk and comedic late-night talk, has also been an activist, like I said earlier, for these kinds of guys. And he had built a video of himself debunking all of these different things that were coming up, including, very specifically, he targeted a one Mr. Ted Cruz. I forget what is his real first name? Alfredo? You know what? Might as well be, because I just want him, in the fishes. That's a godfather.
I think it's Raphael. Or is that his dad?
I don't care. I wanted to be Fredo so that we can just send him out fishing with somebody and just, end the movie with him.
Rough cruise. Sounds like a boat full of...
Yeah, well...
Yeah. Leather queens.
We could always dump him out the aircraft door on the way to Cancun.
That'd be good. Because Canada won't take him back.
I'd love to see him go on a long boat ride with the GIMP.
Yeah, it's fine by me. Any case, so like I said, Jon Stewart, he has been loaning his activism, his platform, to trying to help these guys out. Because every time there is money to be outlaid for, well, how is it that he put it? There has never been a war that these guys wouldn't sign up for. Because whenever it comes for this kind of thing, there's always money. Doesn't matter. We'll always find a way to pay for it. But when it comes for helping the people out who do these wars, it's always a fight. It's always a fight to get the money to get what these guys deserve. And he's one of those people that when he gets upset, he goes ahead and he will use whatever words, whatever terminology works, because there's a certain level of decorum that we expect, and there is a different decorum that's necessary at this point for these people. And one of them is cursing them out left, right, and center because they richly deserve it.
Question.
Shoot.
But does Trevor, who took over the Daily Show, does he ever invite Jon Stewart as a guest?
I do believe that he has.
Yeah, that would be a good time.
Yep. He has been on several times over with Colbert on the Late Show, and they are amazing friends. They're so much fun. But yeah, Jon Stewart basically just said, screw this noise. I'm coming out there. I'm gonna set up a podium. You're gonna listen because you need to listen. And he went at it, man, tooth and nail. He went after these people. He cursed up a storm. After the vote happened and things went wrong, he cursed up a storm.
That's, to put it mildly.
Yeah, okay. Is this footage available anywhere?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What? Well, be sure to put a link to it in the
Yep.
show notes.
Matter of fact, the first one that I've got there is from Brian Taylor Cohen on YouTube, who covered it. He didn't have
Okay, good. Thank you.
the entire speech, but he had enough of it there. Just, just didn't interrupt it. Just let him hit the majority of his pieces. And oh my God, I do have it
Yes.
specifically noted as not safe for work, and that is very highly so. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it is as necessary. It the cursing at this point is as necessary as the first time that I heard on MASH, reminding you back in the 70s, the first time that I heard Hawkeye Pierce say, "You son of a bitch." Reminding you in the 70s, that was virtually unheard of. You didn't
On
hear
TV.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. It was not done, and especially not in prime time.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, this level of vitriol, oh yeah, absolutely necessary.
I think even C-SPAN
Yeah,
carried it.
yeah, they carried it live. They did not bleep it. And as far as I'm concerned, good, because it is a matter of public record.
Yep.
Oh, and Stephanie's got it over there. He is quoting what was written. Raphael Edward Cruz is the slimeball's full name. You know what? Okay.
You wanna talk about a little bitch? That's
Yeah. Yeah. No argument. None whatsoever. He got so cuckolded by the former guy.
Hmm.
And how I don't know who I feel worse for. Him. Well, okay, no.
I don't
But
feel bad for him at all. I feel bad for his wife.
yeah, I feel bad for his wife. And I feel bad that his wife didn't divorce his ass.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Yeah. There's a certain point where, I mean, even my wife would have been, what the hell, man? We stick up for each other. What the hell? Then again, she was also 5 foot nothing, and a Spitfire. So we'll just
And if you hadn't taken it for her, she probably would have kicked your ass.
yeah, yeah.
well. There's a part you might be leaving out is that if he's being paid well enough to behave that way,
Oh,
well,
that's
maybe
even
she
worse.
yeah,
That's even worse. Oh my God, can you
she
imagine?
takes one for the team.
Oh my God, I can only just imagine how absolutely vindictive Heretic Woman would be with that whole topic. She would have been laughing so hard you'd think that she was laughing in his face. And now I've got her voice in my head. And I'm picturing it too. It's a whole video that's going on in my head. I could just see her now. You mealy mouthed bitch. I can.
With a micro penis.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I really can't argue with that.
But I mean, I never had much respect for him anyway. But I'm like, why do people keep reelecting him? And I would think that running off like a little bitch to Cancun while everybody else was freezing to death would hurt his poll numbers, you would think.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing, man. Oh, and Stephanie is saying can't pass the actual video reference. There were a couple of videos that had since come on since I since I posted this. So I will see about getting a couple of them logged into the show notes. So we're not gonna miss out on that. But thank you, I appreciate it. You know, that's another thing sideways. The people in Texas, in the winter, some of them died because
Yeah.
of that power system that they've got out there in his state. And now come the summer, yet again, the company that said, "Oh, it just got too cold, we'll be fine for the summer," has been saying for this season, we need people to kind of scroll back how much power they're using. We're going to have rolling blackouts. We're going to have to remotely adjust people's thermostats to 78 degrees. And yes, that is something that they can do. Now, reminding you, and if Tech were here, he's having an off night right now. If Tech were here, he would tell you, there is no way I will have a remote automated thermostat in my house. No way, no how, no two ways about it. For exactly that reason. And there's something to be said for that. But what gets that piece annoying to me is that those people who are able to have their smart thermostats remotely controlled signed up for those services in exchange for a discount on their power rates. And sometimes they didn't even really know it was in there because, you know, it's one of those, you know, scroll down here and click here to agree to the terms of service, because who's got 3 days to read through a terms of service?
And the price gouge, too.
And the price gouging. Yeah.
But yeah, people dying from heat exhaustion because it's hotter than normal in Texas right now.
And that's only going to stay.
Yeah.
With their isolated power grid, yeah, well, that's the reason for the rolling brownouts or blackouts or whatever.
Yeah, there's that. But there's also the small problem of, with climatic change, these heat cycles are only going to get weirder and weirder.
Yeah, this is the new normal, which is
Such
not
as
normal.
it is, yeah.
It's going to get worse. But Dixon D. Pommier, I think he said that it had been over 100 degrees where he was at for at least 3 weeks.
What is
And it
that
was
coming
hitting
up to,
like
30?
405. And he's in Texas. I can't remember exactly where he's at. I'm going to have to look. And he's elderly, so this has really been, he's 82, so this has really been taking a toll on him. But yeah,
37.
it's been,
We're going to be hitting. Oh, go on, sorry.
Yeah, like 104, 105, and it's been for at least 3 weeks straight. They just
Yeah,
can't
I'm
get a
sorry,
break.
guys. I think I'm getting quite a delay here, so sorry for
No, it's okay.
seemingly interrupting all the time. Oh, but next week we're going to be hitting 40 in Europe.
Again?
Yep, in all week.
God damn.
I'm almost considering prolonging my vacation, but well, I've got responsibilities, so.
There is that.
Yeah, but if you die from
Yeah.
heat stroke, then you're not going to have any more responsibilities ever.
That's going to be fine. He's going to be in a castle. All they got to do is do a little bloodlet, and he'll be fine.
Well, if he went back to Paris.
They don't do bloodletting in Paris anymore. Come on.
No, that's the thing here, is because in the country, at night, you know, we're not surrounded by concrete, so it's actually quite cold at night. It's actually it's out of self-preservation. I would prolong my vacation, but I've got responsibilities, so.
No, I got you.
And a lot of work to do, the follow-up from this visit, so.
You? Extra work to be done? Whatever would give anybody that idea?
mean, that's the problem that we were having here is if you're talking in freedom units, our heat index during the daytime was running 114, 115, and then at night it was still 95. So you just, and humid, so you just don't get a break. That's deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for folks that deal with it in like real heat units, 114 as a heat index comes out to about 45 and a half. So, it's just what's the term for it? Deadly is a good word for it. Yeah, I think that's probably about right.
Yeah, people die at those temperatures, especially if they can't get any break from it and it goes on for days and days.
Yeah.
I have to be absent just for a second.
No
Gotta
worries.
put my stuff on and go downstairs because the bees are waking up. I'll explain that later.
That's a good reason. Get the hell out of Dodge.
Back in a second.
All right. The thing that worries me the most about these people down Texas way, and I know this is kind of sideways from everything else, but it kind of is and kind of isn't. The two things are, first off, there's a certain point where you simply cannot make air conditioning work to cool things off. It's simply because the physics involved, it simply doesn't work. Because the idea is that you're supposed to expel heat outside and bring cool, chill the air that's inside. And after a certain point, it's really kind of hard to, get rid of that heat from one side when there's more heat than what you can get rid of. And the other piece of it is, like Bridget had said, with price gouging with power, just go with electrical power for a second. If there is a problem with power delivery, and it's one of those you want to go with the whole supply and demand cross number things, and you are drawing power because it's part of the higher, the higher want, but the power price has been jacked up, how do you know? How do you price out how much power you're paying for before you get it? You can't. The only other industry I know of that is exactly the same way is at hospitals. If you need medical attention, you don't go price checking hospitals to find out who's got the best service for the best lowest cost. You go to the goddamned hospital. And then you deal with it all afterwards. So again, the same thing with the whole, thousands upon thousands of dollars of service for pittance of whatever it is that you've paid for. By comparison. Of course, then again, it'd be really nice to see photovoltaics taking over on everybody's rooftops, but hey, the hell do I know?
Well, I know that company that they have down there, is it ERCOT? Something like that. I think it's ERCOT.
ERCOT, yeah.
There were people that, lost their power for days.
Yep.
Got it back, and then we're being hit with bills as high as $10,000. Like I said, gouging.
Yep.
People can't afford $10,000 for a utility bill.
For 1 month.
For 1 month, yeah.
For 1 month. And
for a house.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of crap that they pulled.
Yep. Because they could.
Because they could, yeah.
And that's the important piece to remember. Because they could.
And the same people bought out ours here because, apparently they were buddy-buddy with our mayor. So, yeah, they've been doing some gouging here too. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring up a concept that's, Stephanie may or may not be aware of, you may or may not be aware of, but it's wet bulb temperatures, and this is what they're going to start including in forecasts.
Well, okay. What I remember of wet bulb temperatures, that is how you measure relative humidity. It's the difference between what is the temperature of the air in the shade, not in direct sunlight because, versus the same temperature when you have a piece of wet cloth on the measuring device that helps to figure out when it's swung around or whatever it is for the air that's moving around it. The evaporation makes there be a temperature gradient between the two, and what that gradient gives you then lets you figure out what the relative humidity is at that point. And then you can do a whole bunch of other calculations, which also includes heat index, if I remember correctly.
Yep. But just to, put it, in plain terms, like if it's 95 freedom units and it's 100% humidity, that's deadly. Or for our friends across the pond, 35C.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at temperatures of like 45C and lots of humidity, then, even some of the, places that are along the coast, in the Middle East and things, those are deadly. I mean, the sea breezes can kill you. And it's only going to get worse and worse.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a hell of a lot of anything to be done about it.
Nope.
And I say that from the standpoint of at the most local level. There's not a hell of a lot of much that you can really do in the individuals. Can you do insulation in houses? Well, yeah, but that's double-edged sword because the heat gets in. Where the hell is it going to go at that point?
And most of the houses that are in the UK were built to retain heat because it gets so cold and damp.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't have AC, so that's a problem.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of folks over on this side of the pond just don't take into consideration. I mean, the times where there are, people from the other side that come over who are like from news services and they're interviewing people and they're like, well, why don't they just turn on the air conditioning? It's like, dude, there's no such thing.
Have them.
There's no such thing.
Well, same thing in the Pacific Northwest. Most of the houses there don't have AC.
Yeah.
Because usually they don't need them. But the last 3 summers have been hotter than shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, for the longest time, I have also said that there are only a handful of days every summer where I would want to have air conditioning actually running, as opposed to, cracking up a window and just, letting the wind through. And, it's kind of, all right, a good portion could be that, I'm just getting old in my old age, but,
These days are getting fewer and fewer.
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, I'm also the kind of guy that, his first car was a 77 Ford Granada. So, air conditioning was kind of it worked when there was stuff in there. It is what it is. Stephanie's pointed out something, and funny enough, I was actually gonna be hitting on this one. Stephanie had said, "Find a cave, literally, or dig down. Think Tatooine." Yeah. Now the funny part of it is using geothermal as a moderating temperature gradient system is eminently efficient. It really is. You get down to a certain depth, and there's a big difference in the overall temperature. Shit, it's cooler in my basement than it is, up in the rest of the house over here. And every once in a while, I have been known to open the door to my basement, get a box fan, and tilt it so that I'm blowing the air from the basement up to cool the rest of the house a little bit. As opposed to having an air conditioner, because I found out, because I did the lookup on this one. A box fan will use about 1/100th the power that an air conditioner would use. So terribly efficient that way. And my house is just, one floor underground. So, 8 feet in the basement. And I know full well there are some places where you don't have a basement. You just don't, for various reasons. Where I grew up on Long Island, you don't have a basement because the water table is so damned high. You don't have. You just don't.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But the idea of pumping air into the ground through tubes in order to chill the air and then bring it back up again. I mean, that makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. And what is it really operating? Oh, you have to dig down in order to put the pipes into place and then cover it back over again. So you got to work all those fossil fuels for the mechanical part of it. Bitch, what the hell happens afterwards? You put a fan on one side of it and you just blow the stuff in a big circle. I'm making it a lot simpler than what it really is, but you get the idea. And then come the winter, you might need to either turn that off or, supplement the heat a little bit, but that's just a little bit. But at least, I mean, let's say 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Roughly, what does it come out to? About 12? 10-ish? I mean, even that, yeah, it's cold, it's chilly, but it's not freezing. So, it's always a win. And Steph, I love it. You can build a shed and cover it in earth. See Ant's Pants Hobbit House, which is basically his ground level cellar. Yeah. Yeah, the idea that we build up out of the ground is like, I mean, it's wonderful to a certain degree, but I mean, living underground, who was it? Carl Sagan. Famously, his house in Cortland was mostly underground. It made sense to him. And I mean, who's going to argue with Carl Sagan? I mean, for one thing, he's dead now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do that now.
Oh, good
Yeah,
Lord.
James Lovelock is dead too. He died like 3 days ago. Makes me so sad.
Who was it?
He was the guy who proposed the Gaia theory. And there was a book that was inspired by his writings that came out in 1970, was it 2 or 4, called Silent Spring. But, he thought that, the Earth was like a living organism and, talked about albedo and controlling it and, that it had to be, kept in a certain balance or else you'd have, too hot or too cold or whatever. And, yeah, he was 103 when he died, but he was definitely very influential and did a lot of good work.
Yeah, it's a good long run right there.
Yeah. And was still
That'd be
doing
a great
interviews.
idea. That'd be a
Yeah.
great idea for a show. Arguing
Yeah.
with dead people.
Well, he came up with this climate model that was like based on daisies. And he had black daisies and white daisies. And so if you had more white daisies, then it increased the albedo and it would get cooler. And then if you had more dark daisies, then, increase the heat. But yeah, he was a cool guy.
As far as I'm concerned, there's only one solution: is zero footprint. If we can ever achieve that, nature can take its course on its own. We don't really have to. Look at the rabbit problem in Australia, for example. Every time we get involved. Or is that a hare?
The point is made. I don't really remember which one species wise it actually was. The only one I specifically remember is the cane frog, because that's the big one to me.
What was that about?
That the cane frog was brought in with the best of intentions, and yet the whole thing just spiraled into an invasive species thing, and it's just taken over so many different pieces. The problem with carbon footprint, for as far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing. We had the best of intentions using this new form of energy in the form of hydrocarbons. I can talk, but it's just it's literally released an invasive species into the atmosphere over the last 1.5 years.
Well, it goes beyond carbon.
No, I know, but that's one of the most influential pieces of it all. The piece that we can actually see, because all that soot and everything from burning oils and such. That's a lot of that is carbon to that you would see. That's the point.
And all the waste heat we're generating. I mean, we have all the technology available to have a zero imprint on nature, but where's the money in that?
Yeah.
Well, James Lovelock, he was responsible for, finding out that CFCs were a bad thing. He was able to detect them and say, these are destroying the atmosphere, so cut it out.
And we did.
And we did.
And we did.
Yep. But if everything's being decided on a state level now, well, every state is going to in its own best interests, and like the country as a whole.
Yeah, that's us. I still can't believe that.
Well, over here in Europe, the politicians here tend to follow the American example. If they can get away with that, so I guess so can we.
But what are we going to wind up with? 50 different standards for emissions and crap, depending on what state you live in? I think that's what we got now, and that's pretty stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's painful for me to say that, but I mean, yeah. Here in the United States, reminding everybody, there are 50 states which are ostensibly individualized state, country, somewhere on the border of each terminology. And each one of them is supposed to be able to have say in their own inner workings, but they're all supposed to be governed ultimately by the federal constitution. Everybody's supposed to be able to follow it regardless of how they word their laws individually. But as far as automobiles are concerned, to the best of my recollection, you gotta love this part. The best of my recollection, there are no automotive production plants in California. But California has some of the strictest standards for emissions from those same automobiles.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, every other state, reminding you, every other state at that point has adopted those same standards when they could just conceivably just say, you know what, whatever standards is fine by us. It doesn't matter what California goes by. We're just going to go with whatever works for us. Because, you know, leaded
whatever
gasoline.
the voters want.
Yeah. Because remember, once upon a time ago, leaded gasoline used to be a thing.
Yep.
Yep, that's forbidden here in Europe now. If you have a leaded gas car, you can't get anywhere near a capital city.
I don't think they sell leaded here anymore.
Not that I know of.
You know, but California, then again, has their economy is larger than some countries.
Most countries.
And so they have some pull. But with our Supreme Court gutting what the EPA can and can't do now, which is just horrible, they're just leaving it up to the states to decide what they want to do. Yeah. And we know what most of them will do.
Yeah. And reminding everybody, EPA in this case is the Environmental Protection Agency. They are the group that has been instrumental in changing California's stereotypical smog-ridden cities into areas where you can see for miles.
Yeah. Here in the countryside at night, there's the stars. Holy shit.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, I've said it before, too. When I grew up on Long Island, if I looked up, I could make out all of the constellations because they were the only stars that I could really see easily. And now I live out here in the countryside. I can't even figure out which is the constellation anymore because there are so many stars to make out now. Which makes it fun when the International Space Station goes overhead and you can see it, which is that's a magical thing, man.
How many times does it orbit the Earth every night?
I'm sorry, you both talked.
Sorry.
Bridget?
How often the ISS? How many times does it orbit the Earth by day?
6
times or something?
Something like that, yeah. It makes an orbit every roughly 90 minutes, but depending as to where the track takes it, because it's on a sweeping up and down motion, depends as to whether or not you can see it. And its placement relative to the sun, because, you know, reflections. There are plenty of tracker programs or websites where you can find out if it's visible for you at any one time, which is so much fun.
Yeah, I can't see Jack out here.
Yeah. I used to have the ISS feed as my desktop.
Nice.
Yeah, but that only lasted a few months because it was so distracting.
Science is cool up until you can't get any job done.
Yeah. What are they doing now? Oh, the Americans are bitching at the Russians again. And they actually do that in their feed because there's the Russian crew and the American crew up there, and they're separated into 12-hour shifts. So you've always got in the live feed, when you have the Americans starting up, they're talking about what the Russians did the night before.
And I can well imagine it would be the same way on both sides.
Yeah. But I don't speak Russian, so.
That's okay. As an aside, by the way, for those of you that might have radio scanner equipment, every once in a while, the guys, when they have downtime over there on ISS, they will talk down to the Earth on ham radios and make contacts. So you can check that out for yourself sometime. It's a cool thing.
Yeah.
So, back onto it. The idea that somebody like Jon Stewart, who has had a lot of success over his years, and I will never take that away from him, instead of being one of those I got mine, screw y'all, he has continued to be, dare I say it, a champion for the little guy who's been trying to do right.
Yeah.
The causes, like I said before, the first responders in New York City after 9/11, the ones who went in have been dying from cancer, and there was supposed to have been a fund for helping these people, and it kept getting shafted over and over and over and over. And he made it his business of going there. He went there with film crews even to document how it went. And there were some Congress critters and senators who they didn't show up, but their very young staff came out into the hallway to tell him, he can't talk to him right now, but if you give us your card, we'll be in touch with you. You know what I mean? So there are some people who have done right that way. There was one, oh God, I forgot what the hell his name was. There was one Hollywood actor who used to work in fire department in New York City, not very far away from where the attack happened. And he went back. He went back from California, went back to his old place, and it's just like, look, I used to work here. Don't talk about it. Don't whatever. I would like to help out again. And he went in and he did his thing. No fanfare, no nothing. Just went in there and just did the job. And there are some people who have done really well for themselves and have stuck by those kinds of those kinds of causes. Jon Stewart's done good. If I could remember what the hell, God, what the hell was his name? He's been immortalized in the meme picture of the old guy wearing a baseball hat and a trucking around a skateboard. And hello, fellow students. God, I can't remember. I'll remember his name later. And Will Wheaton, famously Will Wheaton, who did not have the best of childhoods, to put it mildly, but has turned into a wonderful human being, great father. He has been a champion for causes, and if he has posted something that turns out was problematic, and somebody calls him out on it, he doesn't deflect. He doesn't say anything different other than, you know what, I did not know that. Thank you. I've taken the post down. I will make sure that I don't have anything to do with that again. Thank you for letting me know. He'll call out causes. He will punch up people. He has been known to, every once in a while, I'm having a bad day. Anybody got some good pictures of their pets? And people will send, pictures of pets and give him a quick story. And he's just like, this is my cat now. Thank you so much. Shit like that. And
Here's your name.
Steve Buscemi, thank you. I wish there were more stories about people like that. There's enough money to go around for exactly that. So, what the hell?
Well, this is rumor at this point, and we'll just have to see what happens. Jon Stewart may end up throwing his hat in the ring for POTUS in 2024.
Whoa.
Oh, awesome.
It just depends.
And we
And
want Franken back too.
it depends on if Tucker Carlson announces that he's going to run.
Oh, Jesus.
If Tucker Carlson runs, Jon Stewart's going to run against him.
Good.
And I think you should.
I agree.
Yeah. And we need Al Franken back.
Yeah, we need Al Franken back, and he's looking at trying to help to get back in.
Yeah, at this point, I don't have a problem with that.
I don't either.
And it's not even...
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he more than answered for the accusations for which he was accused. Yeah, that makes no sense. But he got out of politics because of a certain accusation, which has since been debunked. So I think he's paid his dues.
Yeah. Yeah, and as far as it's concerned for me, it's not even a whataboutism kind of thing. It's they trumped up, pardon the expression, and made grandiose something that did not sink to that level, if you will. It was a hatchet job. They got what they wanted. They got their pound of flesh. And you know what? At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Tucker Carlson wants to go ahead and run for POTUS. The Republican Party in general wants to go ahead and try to sling mud because they think that they can do anything with it. I'm just going to say it now before the end of the show. Fuck y'all.
Yep.
It's just
And
scary
again, all
that
of this-
they're talking about him for a run, and he's even thinking about it. I'm like, that is horrifying.
Yep.
And again, it's about the population, because nowadays, people who don't think critically about anything, just making an accusation is enough to condemn someone.
Yeah. Yeah, and it used to be that even the semblance of impropriety would make the individual choose to remove themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be. And again, this is where we come back to the question of decorum.
Yeah, but this is often that would happen because of their own party. Their own party would ask them to resign for the good of the party because they're scared of public opinion.
Yep.
So shooting yourself in the foot, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for whatever it's worth, Al Franken has been doing a lot more interviews lately, and he's got a weekly podcast that he does now, and he has some attorneys on there and politicians and things like that. So I think he's testing out the waters to think, to get back in.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to his podcast.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe you should invite him on. That's what we should do.
I don't know that he...
Yeah, probably not.
Oh,
I guess
don't
we
mind
could
surprises.
ask.
What have we got to lose to try?
See, I keep thinking that. I keep wondering that for myself. It's like, I got Facebook memories that are coming up now where 10 years ago, I got to interview George Robb back when I was still very early in my my DJ sets. And
cool.
yeah, we had I had told him that I was figuring on just like a 20-minute thing or something like that. It turned into almost an hour because we were just, I mean, we both understand each other. We both grew up at the same time in opposite sides of New York City. We both knew the same things, and you just, oh God. See, this is why I should not be allowed to meet people like that. But we had a good time, and I did record it because I'm not an idiot.
Speaking of guests, I wonder if I should try to get Muller, she wrote. Allison Gill.
Okay.
I don't know if she would or not, but that would be cool. Well, she's been following, J6 and all that for a long time, but she used to actually work, I'm not sure which administration, I think during the Trump administration, but she worked in something or the other and ended up losing her job when they found out about her podcast.
Well.
Yeah. But she's doing fine now. She's making bank.
Good.
I mean, she's got her doctorate. She's written a couple of books. She's got a couple of podcasts that people pay for.
That's good. That's good.
You want to see some serious earth moving?
I'm not sure how to answer that question.
Just a second. Let's make sure that...
You know who I would like to have on? If we're doing a dream list? Mary Trump.
That's better. Yeah.
That would be interesting.
This is from last night.
That most assuredly does not look like the night.
Nope.
It's morning.
Daytime here. It's morning, yeah. Oh, sorry if I've been making some sound, but last night we were excavating the moat. And yeah, so I've got a lot of stones to extract from all this.
Man, look at this. Even with global warming, man, you guys don't even have enough water for a moat. Jesus.
Well, if we directed things, there's not a rivulet, not quite a river, just below the property, but if we were to make a canal to here, yeah, well, the bottom would be full of water anyways. But the water table has gone down a bit since medieval times, so...
Yeah. Well, if we have to flee, we could come help you with the castle.
Yeah.
Well, shit, yeah.
And we could grow vegetables and stuff.
Already done. There's a garden down. There's, of course, the principal shareholder doesn't have time. He's in Algeria now, so he doesn't have time to deal with it. But anyways.
Well, you know what? Screw him.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
But there's a lot of work to do here.
Yep, there's that. Oh, yeah, sideways, by the way, I had almost forgotten. Stephanie had also pointed out, the Rhine is running so low that freight is being held up as the barges cannot run fully loaded.
Yeah, I saw that.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this area is full of sources. And farmers used to take, they'd have a local source they tap into to irrigate their fields. But, yeah, no more. Because the water table's going down, 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 down. I had a fun project yesterday. There's a well here on the property. And I wanted to go down the well, but it's not something I can do alone. So I ended up putting my telephone in video mode, and I lowered it down the well 17 meters to the water table.
Oh, that's a long way down.
Oh, geez, yeah. And it's been here since the 13th century, so.
Damn.
Well, you know, when you're under siege, you need a source of water.
No, I got you. I know a little something about that. When my wife and I were in Japan, I forget which castle it was, but there was one that was built in such a manner that it was ready to be self-sufficient for, I forget how long it was. I think it was like a month solid before they would have to worry about anything, because it had everything that it needed including, just water for, a month solid or whatever the hell it was, or food or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, well, this is a little place, so it probably couldn't hold up for more than a month because they used to bring in the cows, the cattle, everything within the walls.
Damn. So, yeah, it's going to be one of those things.
Just one more link about who this person is.
Which person?
Alice Gale.
Yeah.
Muller, she wrote.
Mm.
I would love to have her on.
Well, we had Tracy Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a perfectly good conversation.
And we had Aaron
And
Raw.
Aaron Raw.
That was
Oh
not
God,
as
yeah, it's
good
been ages since I've spoken with him.
Yeah, my handling of that particular one was lackluster, to put it nicely.
Sorry, what?
I did not do well with Aaron. I did not handle that particular episode at all well. That was a failing on my part.
No, but we also had delay and
No,
things like that.
no, it really wasn't that. I did not handle that particular one well. I don't remember exactly what it was that that was going on in my head. I just did not do the interview with him at all properly. It just went wrong.
Well, yeah. I wish we'd spent more time on because at the time he was contesting the school boards, I think.
Yeah.
And he was doing a lot of work in that direction. And we didn't spend very much time talking about that. I would have liked him to talk about that more, actually.
Yeah. I remember as much as that. The questions I was asking were really not correct.
Softball questions?
Well, they weren't correct for what it was that he knew and what he was working with. So it just
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But I do.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
we all learn from our mistakes.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, well, he knows it too.
And
don't forget, he's autodidact. Is that how you say it in English? He's self-taught, so hey.
Okay.
He's gonna understand that more than anyone.
Well,
because the only way to learn is to make mistakes.
Oh, Lord knows I did.
Well,
he's out digging fossils now.
Yeah, that's right. And doing a good job of it, as I've understood.
Yeah, he decided to go to school for paleontology, and I'm like, you go, dude.
Yeah, he just got his honorary degree, I think, not long ago.
I don't remember that one offhand, but it wouldn't surprise me. Cool. I'm trying to have I'm trying to figure out where really to go. With the way things are going tonight.
Yeah, what time is it now?
It's 20 minutes to the hour.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So normally speaking, we'd have another 20 plus, but being that I have to get up, well, in my case, roughly 5 hours from now, roughly.
Okay.
How about we see what last kind of things that we've got, and I'll just, for a change, I actually will turn us in a little bit early.
Okay.
Um,
I've got stones to dig.
so how about this as a last item to finish this off with? Who can you think of that has fit into this mold, where they've done well for themselves, but they really have not lost track of there are other people?
George Soros?
I don't know on that one.
Jimmy
Hey,
Carter.
that's why the...
I'm sorry.
He? Oh,
Jimmy
God, Jimmy
Carter.
Carter.
Wow.
Yeah.
How the hell did I? Wow. Yeah. I talked about him not too very long ago either. Good. How the hell old is he now?
He's still kicking. He must be like 93 or something like that.
Something like that. He is 90. Where is he?
Oh, look at the Wikipedia article.
That's what I'm doing.
Me.
Born in 1920. Holy shit.
Yeah. Pushing 100?
Yeah. Born October 1, 1924.
Oh, good for him.
97 years old. God love him. Wow. Okay. We all know full well, as an atheist group, we don't invoke a deity, generally speaking. It's usually reserved for the great god Murphy, because we know full well the great god Murphy exists, because he shows his hand every once in a while. But I say God love him because looking at his wiki article, born James Earl Carter Jr., October 1, 1924, age currently 97.
Yeah.
Spouses. Married 1946, Rosalind Smith.
Yep.
He has been married since 1946 to the same woman, the only woman. And that's why I can go ahead and I can say, knowing full well that this son of a bitch, even when he has been hurt and sporting a face with, bruises and a bruised up eye, he will still go out there and he will swing a hammer with Habitat for Humanity to this day at 97 goddamn years old. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I haven't seen him in the public spectrum since a while.
And that's because he doesn't do it. If memory serves, he discounted having Secret Service protection. He basically just said, no, don't worry about it. And he's just gone on and done. I mean,
Does his thing out of the public eye.
He does his thing out of the public eye. Habitat for Humanity is his baby. My wife wanted to be able to do with them for a while. And he has even said, reminding y'all, we're an atheist group. He has even said that Habitat for Humanity is his way of showing his Christianity. And as far as I'm concerned, if that's the way that you're going to show your Christianity to the world without preaching and making a whole bunch of money and just building houses for people to be able to get into places, I will say it. God love you.
Yeah. Anybody who appeals to our reason, I'm applauding.
Reducing worlds suck.
Yeah. I mean, he's a genuinely good person.
God, yeah. Wow. How the hell did I not even think of him at first? That's just, wow. That's a really good call.
Yeah, well, we need a reminder from time to time.
Yeah.
Sadly true. In my case, like I said, Will Wheaton, for me, when he was a child actor, he got screwed over by his parents They pushed him to do a lot of stuff. He was very unhappy in a lot of ways on Star Trek Next Generation. He, however, he did buy for himself a Starfleet Academy class of whatever the hell it was, ring, that he has proudly shown off and has said, I am literally the only person that can rightfully wear this ring because the school room that we used on the set for me as a child actor was called Starfleet Academy. So I graduated Starfleet Academy and the rest of y'all can suck it. He's turned out to be a wonderful person. Like I said, supporting people, willing to call out the shit when it goes wrong, willing to admit when he's done incorrect. And he is a genuinely good person. He is a genuinely nice person. And I would love to be able to talk with him about exactly that without fanboying all over. I would really love to.
Invite him to the show.
You know what? I got nothing to lose. He's in California, if I remember right. I mean, what, it'd only be 6 at night for him. No, sorry, 9.
Yeah.
9 at night.
He's a really
I'm in
good
Europe.
writer. I love his books.
Yeah.
Got all of them.
Just remember, we're not allowed to talk about the spicy dick milk. We're not allowed to do that. If you're wondering what that is, look it up on YouTube. Will Wheaton, spicy dick milk. Trust me, it's a hoot. And who you gonna nominate on this one then, British? Reminding you, this is.
I said Jimmy Carter.
Oh.
I like Henry Winkler too.
Wow.
What's he doing? Still producing, no?
He's still acting. He's still producing. He's a genuinely nice guy from everything that I have heard people say about him.
Yeah.
And he brings joy to so many people with his fishing.
Fishing?
Fly fishing.
Oh, okay.
And he looks so excited and happy when he catches a big one and he posts it on Twitter, and it just makes everybody so happy.
I love the fact that there was an interview where he's watching TV with, I think he said it was his 8-year-old grandson, and it was an episode of Happy Days, and he ends up showing up on the TV, and kid looks over at grandpa, and looks over at the TV, looks over at the grandpa, looks over at the TV, and Henry's just, waiting for it. And it's just like, your hair is a different color. It's like, thanks, kid.
Yeah. Well, at least he still has hair.
That's true.
Oh, he's got a lot of hair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's worked out well. You know what? I want to give you one. I want to give you a different one, also, because holy shit. You want to talk about an anti-hero from this kind of list? Ron Perlman.
Oh, the producer. No,
the actor. The epitome of the Beast, the epitome of Hellboy.
Oh, geez, him.
Yeah. Ron Perlman is definitely the brutal version of the punch-up guy. Because he will smack people viciously who richly deserve it. And when it came down to, if you go find interviews that he did about the former guy and the way that he talks, oh my God, it was hilarious to hear him absolutely eviscerate the speaking style and talking about him like he's like a junior high level intellect speaker. It was just glorious.
Yeah, there's a picture for Joseph down there. It
Oh,
just tickles me.
That's
I'll have to check that later.
that's great.
It's just adorable.
Oh God, that's great. Is there anybody else either one of you want to drop in here? Because I think otherwise we might be almost done.
Sam Harris?
I haven't followed him enough to know how that's played out.
Yeah, well, I'm subscribed to his podcast, and he's kind enough to offer a subscription to anybody who can't really afford it.
That's fair enough. And I'm sorry, I'm smiling and I'm almost laughing over here because Bridget's posting more pictures. Oh my God,
He's just great.
he has got the.
I mean, this is what I'm on Twitter for.
See, if there was an easy way for me to share these pictures on video with us all, I would absolutely do that. Please make sure that you put those into the Discord for folks because those are just too precious. And as an aside, by the way, there's a name. Hi, Helen Stanford over in the chat is saying Ron Perlman sat through hours of makeup to look like Hellboy when he went to visit a sick fan in the hospital. Absolutely correct. I'd absolutely forgotten about that one. And there are only a handful of actors that I can think of who did that kind of thing.
Yeah, I was a cancer victim or a cancer patient, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. There's some that have done it. Downey Jr., even though he doesn't have to do a whole bunch in the line of makeup, he's done a couple of things that were relatively high profile.
Just please never sing again.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. There you go. He has visited folks in hospitals a couple of times that way, and it's good. It's good when stuff like that happens.
Yep.
So otherwise, anything left over? Because otherwise, I think that's going to be about it for either one of you.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think who I'm gonna tell off.
Oh, yeah.
See how easy it's going to be to narrow it down. All right. Well, you've got a couple of moments to think about it. So with that, yeah, I will go ahead and I'll call it. Normally, I'd have something extra to say at this whole thing, but you know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. So everybody, thank you very much for being with us tonight. As always, we hope that you found something worthwhile in all of our perspectives and you got something to think about for the week ahead. So you all take very good care of yourselves. Joseph, again, safe travels back. And yeah, you be careful with those bees. You said they were waking up. Yeah, that's not a good reason to... That is a good reason, I should say, to get the hell away.
Well, as long as I don't bother them, they don't bother me. Well, the tower room where I'm staying, there's a colony of bees that have set up their hive in the chimney. So it's a constant back and forth between the window and the chimney.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Kind of scary at first, but, bees aren't wasps. So as long as you leave them alone, they leave you alone.
Generally speaking, yeah. but still,
and Yellow Jackets.
Oh.
I hate those too.
yeah,
Yeah.
psychotic ass
Big
needles
problem.
of stabbity death.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and before I get to you, Bridget, really quickly, normally I would have thanked the guys over there in the live chat. So let me do it this way. Stephanie, thank you. You take care of yourself. Felix, also, just kind of be careful. And like I said, new name, Helen. Welcome down to the show. It's glad to have you. With luck, hopefully, maybe we'll see you again next week. I would hope. I mean, be nice to have some new blood in the place for a change. But seriously, please take care of yourself, and welcome. It's good to have you. So, Bridget.
And message. Message to Dallin and Joe. Happy to have you back. Come back.
Well, yeah. Joe's busy working most of the time at this point, and Dallin, it's been really tough for him because he's doing DJ sets in Second Life now, and it would mean literally get done and then completely switch gears in order to rejoin us. So it's been really tough for him to be able to do that.
Okay.
No worries.
All I know is it's been a while.
Yeah, that's true enough. So, Bridget, I've drawn it out as long as I can. Who do you want to stick it to this week?
Marjorie, 3 names. She can take her Christian nationalism and shove it up her ass.
Well, I mean, having grown up in a Catholic grouping, I mean,
But
that's...
to come out and say that she's a Christian nationalist?
Yeah, that's a good point.
A Nazi! That's white supremacy! That's
the Klan.
Yep.
the Klan.
They're not even hiding anymore.
Nope.
No, they're not.
And all the better, because it just makes it all the easier to extract them.
Yeah, that's about the only good part of it all.
Viktor Orban come over here for CPAC. And even his speechwriter is like, okay, this speech is just way too Nazified for me, so I quit.
It says something, doesn't it?
Yeah, when you're too Nazi for him, you've gone full Nazi.
Working with him for 20 years, quit over his speech.
Yeah, it says something right there. And Stephanie's pointed out, isn't that blasphemy? Christian nationalist?
Should be.
If only. Because remember, once upon a time ago, there used to be something like shame with these people. And since there isn't, doesn't really matter now, does it?
Nope.
Well, conduct is just weird to me because other than, like Romans, I didn't see a whole lot of white dudes in the Bible. Just saying.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with Christianity.
No, it doesn't.
Actually, it's just
A means to an end.
Yeah.
It's just a carrot.
And a stick all at the same time.
It all comes to, it all comes down to who's holding the stick. But it's funny that everybody just looks at the carrot, not the stick holder.
Now she's all her fifis are hurt now because everybody's calling her a Nazi.
Well,
if the shoe fits, bitch.
Snowflake Nazi. Okay.
I'm glad one of us said it, and I'm also glad it wasn't me.
Whatever. I'm over here. I'm safe. I'm gonna leave you guys. Everybody's getting up now, so you all have a great week.
You too, man. Safe travel home.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hang in there, okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, take care, guys.
You too.
Good night. And in the meantime, we will go ahead and get ourselves out of here. As always, if you'd like to be in touch with us, all of our contact information is over at holycrapthevlogcast.com, including the audio version of the show, which Dallin has done a lot of updates on recently, because, volunteer basis, he gets around to it when he gets around to it. It is what it is. You got plenty to listen to at that point. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail message, the phone number is 859-HCTV-554, 859-4288-554, and we'd love to hear from you sometime. But otherwise, I've got some sleep I got to try to get very shortly. So you all take good care of yourselves. And as always, this time of the season, I remind you, please, if you're going to be out on the water on a boat, do not drink and boat. You want to fall down on dry land drunk? Fine. You fall overboard drunk, the water will swallow you whole, and nobody would know the difference. Don't let that happen. So until next time, I wish you all, as always, the peace I no longer have. I wish you the strength that I've learned. I wish you well. And my lady, should have been 29 years married, but I am still in love. Matane Fujin. I love you. I miss you. Dream of me. And until the next time we're together, everyone, as always, good night.